Many years ago, people attended housing workshop like this, and a young man told his friend, Ayo, immediately the speaker came up like this. He just told, Ade told Ayo, he said, I want to sleep. How can you sleep? He said, there is nothing new they will say now. He said, if you should say anything new, wake me up. So, by the time the young man heard about clapping, he woke up. He said, has he said anything new? He said, no, he has finished his speech. He has finished his speech. He said, Johnny, please kindly project my work. I will make it. Many people have really simplified. So when I was given the topic, I'm standing on, am I leaning? Because they said you should be very careful standing on protocol. Because the foundation could be very weak. So that you don't have collapse protocol. So I'm leaning on the existing protocol. Thank you so much. We were told just now that somebody came to work yesterday, a PA to one of our guys, and today is dead. And that's so rampant now. It's like daily. And the chairman was telling me, he said he got to some of his friends who said that they've not taken medical tests in their life. I said, I do it yearly, but I did it twice last year. Because I did it in February. But like everybody around me was just dying in August. I quickly ran back again. I quickly ran back again to do it, to make sure that my kidney is working well. You see, there is so much stress in the nation. And one of them is housing. I work in a university where a professor of 8 years, where a professor of 15 years is sleeping in a boys' quarter. In the University of Lagos today, like any other, when I read it in LASU or other campuses, I was thinking this was only University of Lagos problem. People are sleeping in their offices. People are cooking in their offices. All over the campus. And I took time to talk to one of my students a few days ago, who actually was sleeping in the classroom. And he told me that he didn't bother to apply for accommodation again. And I said, why? Because in the university we have 45,000 and we have just 9,000 bed spaces. Student housing. And he said, what's the point? That for every 8-man room, there are 24 people living there. They are owners, they are squatters, they are floaters, they are hangers, they are different categories. And he told me that he mentioned one of the halls that some, they don't even have anything. They put their tent camp. What do they call it? Camp bed with net. Camp tent. And they just sleep in front of those, any of those cells. They go about with their camps. You see, one armed robber visited my church member many years back. The woman had accident. The woman had accident and couldn't even move. So, but the way the young man introduced himself to the mama of about 80 years old, said, Ekaleo, that is, good evening. Say, the children that you sent to school that didn't have job, they have come to collect their allowance. That's the way they introduce themselves. In fact, the woman said, I have accident, I couldn't walk. They drag her to her bedroom, 80-year-old. Architect Femi Adewale told us that by 2030 or 2050, will be 400 million people that will be living in this space called Nigeria. We have not seen anything. Today, I said many of professors, many of senior lecturers, they could not, they sleep in their offices. They sleep in their offices. You see early in the morning, you see people washing beans pot, crack, 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 around the campus. People were sleeping inside their cars. I was in charge of campus accommodation. And I know what people are going through. So why will people not die? What causes stress? A woman lost the husband, the rent got due, the landlord threw her road and everything they had in life outside. And that same day, rain fell and destroyed everything. These are stories that we all see them on social media. People living inside flooded rooms. It's because it's not affecting us. Quickly just jump through. I will not present a paper as such. Just next slide. Just next slide. Is it not? Is that? Aha. You see, slum. Go to a slum in Africa. Go to the previous slide. We see slums intermixing. We don't care. We are living, there is a juxtaposition of modernity minus, when you are scholar, we don't care, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Move to the next slide. I prepared, because in the table they sent to me, they said 40 minutes. Now they reduce it to 2 minutes. And that's part of the problem of the country. So, continue. And we gave people goodwill, 10 minutes. And people present at 2 minutes. There's a problem in the country. These are where our people are living. Continue, please. These are where people are living. Continue. Thank God, those who don't have our color, they've gone. We don't have to tell ourselves the truth. These are all you are seeing, they are neighborhood of University of Lagos, not far, not hidden. Continue, please. Someone asked me, if they don't have money, why are they still living on filth? They don't have hygiene. No, it's not filth. It's a construction material. Go back to that slide. Swampy areas in Lagos, they buy this waste. They buy them to sand fill. And they will just put sand on it and construct their structure. After first rain, the sand washed away. So you don't see this exposed. It's not that they are not hygienic. They paid money to buy this waste you are seeing. It's a construction material. Continue. See, incremental construction, that's what you have in the country. People lay the foundation, 16 rooms, and just build 2 rooms. They believe in it. They build the remaining for all their life. Many of them, they don't get to finish it. In the last 5 years, I've buried so many people in front of their uncompleted house that if you could not use it during their lifetime, you will use it after life. So that's why Atom Cemetery is always sufficient. We don't bury people in Atom Cemetery. We, as a compensation, life after. You couldn't use it, you use it. This is what we have. Continue. In where there is, Ronald said 2002, that when you get to a city and you see orderly development, construction standard is high, is because they have a robust housing finance system. Where there is no robust or defined housing finance system, you see chaotic development. and slum will dominate. Continue, please. Continue. Well, no. Stop that at that. When I was asked to come and talk about opportunities in mortgage, I said opportunity in 2005. I wrote this book 2002, 2003, Home Ownership Medicine. And the last chapter of it, chapter 10, Cooperative Housing. We've already established, as far back as 2002, that the way forward is cooperative. This is a publication, Guardian publication of 2007, together with General Rees, when we were in FHA, that we said cooperative is the solution to housing in Nigeria. And that 2007, one of the publications of FHA, we never knew that we were deceiving ourselves. We call it, go to the next slide. We call it, continue, because they've said most of these things, easy entry, easy this and that. Benefits of cooperative, they are there. They are there. We said that the new beginning, because Obasanjo put us in the technical board of FHA, and we had the mandate to give this nation a roadmap. And actually we did. The two regimes, the regime of Obasanjo, the regime of Yar'Adua, they gave us standing ovation. Those who we crafted the document, they were seated here. Adjutant Sam Odia was there, part of us. And we brought Adjutant Femi Adewale from UK to come and share his 16 or 20 years experience with us. We crafted the document, and they gave us standing ovation. And all we designed there in this new beginning, go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. This is what we printed there. Choice. Cooperative Home Ownership Incentive Scheme. That was what we wanted to use to drive the entire country. Because we knew as far back as that time. Because in 2005, there was a summit on cooperative at Sheraton, where we agreed that the way forward towards affordable ownership in Nigeria is cooperative. On that basis of that summit, that was why we were appointed into the board of FHA, and the mandate was actually give this nation affordable housing roadmap, which we did. Based on this, one, public servant, for whom? Public servants, private sector, community, and they were to develop this. Key workers, employee housing scheme, existing cooperatives. These are things that were well laid out. So, to be discussing the benefits of cooperatives 20 years after is abnormal. So, now we have been able to hear from all they are saying since. Just give me 5 minutes, I'll round up. Give me 5 minutes, I'll round up. Because this is the cocoa of our economy. You know, when you are to take first flight, you wake up 2 o'clock. I don't like first flight. But if I don't come with the first flight, I won't make this meeting. You have to wake up 2 o'clock to leave home 4:45. So when I come here, I will say talk for 2 minutes. My body now, if you put temperature, is high. You small you. Let us know the scale of the problem. Unfortunately, you see, 50% of urban dwellers in Nigeria, they live in slum. And that's dangerous. After the COVID, we all saw what happened. The emergence of 1 million boys. You don't need to knock your door. They were moving from street to street. And that's just a tip of what is coming. If housing problem is not resolved. If housing problem is not resolved, it's a tip of what, when the population now becomes 400 million, nobody will be, you won't be able to go out. So, let's see what went wrong. Continue. We have said a lot of things about it. Just continue. The model we created that time, look at it, I will round up. The model, no, go to that model. The model we crafted, if you move my picture from that place. You find that this was a presentation to President Yadua, 2007. This is the model we gave this country. And the model you see, end user. Example, what? Cooperatives. It's been established. But the question now is that, having seen it as a veritable source of housing provision and celebrating other nations that have embraced this, why is it that it's not working? And that is the problem with us. There is a disconnect between academic town and gown. Our problem is always, we always do guesswork. And especially with this formation of platform, there are so many professors on platforms. So people don't do research. And once we don't do research, we're just wasting our time. And when the research is even done, do we use the research product? Why are cooperatives not delivering as we thought? David said in Psalm that once the foundation is faulty, there's nothing anybody can do. The foundation of cooperative in Nigeria, of cooperative housing, is faulty. Because it's housing, cooperative housing, sitting on the protocol, standing on the protocol of Agric. What has Agric got to? Somebody in this gathering today now is not Minister of Housing that spoke to us, it's Minister of Agric. Could he walk? He can't walk. He can't walk. You see, this is the only nation that once we formulate policy, we have to die with it. NYSC was useful. But we now have to do research. Has it expired? Then if we have to scrape it, be humble enough to scrape it. When cooperative started, it started when the nation was an agrarian society. And it was solving the problem. But now we have moved from agrarian community society to a capitalist society where 50% of our population were non-agric based. And the agric people that you are seeing in the rural area, they don't have this housing challenge. Then why can't we bring housing cooperative out and do laws that can help it? Except there is regulation. We recognize all these problems. And we wanted to register. They see ourselves to register as thrift. We see register as thrift. And we knew that we wanted to do housing for our members. So all these are the legal framework have to be defined. Until we define it, that housing cooperatives were standing on their own. By 2000, about 15 years ago, after talking to the director of cooperative, she commissioned me to speak to every cooperative in Lagos. The annual general meeting, they must invite me. I introduced them. Because the question I asked then, and I kept on asking, is that most of the cooperatives today that are calling themselves, they are doing housing, that was not their primary focus. So they were doing buying and selling. All this I have in my paper. And they were research findings. The leadership of such cooperatives, they have houses. So new members that houses are their priority. It's not their priority. And when they acquire land, they did not acquire, when I told them about housing, and I was telling them about land, I told them land in so-so corridor, they say, oh, the land we bought 60,000. Do you mean that it's now 600,000? They jump up. They bought land for investment, not for housing. And when those of them that did housing, the problem is this. Because let's talk of an estate of about 200 participants. They've already done the layout. They've allocated. The person at the entrance has housing need. 10 plus. Away from that, that's where you see another person with housing need. All this one bought for the 8 plus in between, they bought for the children. They don't have housing need. So we have unique housing because University of Lagos have 5 cooperatives that bought land. And for over a period of 20 years, out of 400 participants, only 60 or 40 houses were there. And the question is that why? He said, I can't move there because it's forest. Those who were ready to build, they were scattered. And I called them, I said, look, be sincere. Allocate according to need. Get block A. If you want to develop year 1 to 2, those are the people you will allocate it to. So I said to begin to, let me conclude with the assignment that FMBN. FMBN, because cooperative in this part of the country still have elements of subsidy. We can't compete with the capital market, in the money market, with this high cost of funding. So we still need. So the National Housing Fund is the appropriate fund for the cooperatives. And we've been pushing that since that 2007. In fact, there was a demonstration that they used Public Service Commission at Port Harcourt to run this model. And it worked. They deployed, they gave them funding, and that project was successful. That is the template that they are replicating. Just go down. The Federal Mortgage Bank, they gave us an assignment to do research for them because they wanted to increase the informal sector's contribution, benefits, those who benefit from their program. They want to increase the informal sector from 20% that it is today to 50%. So we did a research for them, and there were fundings. There were results that we've shared with them. But this particular organization, I was believing that this is the kind of place that we do information sharing. Because we conducted the research in Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. And we interviewed several cooperatives. And they told us their problems, why they were not making progress. The requirement of CFO, the requirement of land title. They have many developers, many cooperatives, they have land, but they don't have this CFO. And because until you have CFO, FMBN will not deploy. So they talk of what they want. And we just realized through the research, go down. We realized through the research that it's not one mode fits all. What the cooperators in Enugu needs, different from those of Lagos. Because those of Lagos, they said, rent to buy is what we need. Kano people said, our cooperative housing must be related to our family. So it's not one model. So that's why you have to do research. So I want to say that with all this time constraint, I would have shared the finding of this research with us. But with the time constraint, I will not be able to. But what we need is that we need more research. We need more research funding. I want to show my appreciation to FMBN for commissioning us. The mortgage regulators commission us. Let us do this research. Why do we have this pot of fund, but yet we are not enjoying it? Let us identify the bottleneck. I want to conclude, as usual, with a story. Why we must do research. You know the Adekunle sawmill, government of Lagos State, for long, they wanted to move there. Under the time of Ashwaju Tinubu, they moved them to a place, Igbola, towards Epe. They spent 4 billion that time to do relocation. But when they got there, they found out that the land was silt land. It could not support the sawmill activity. 4 million down the drain. 4 billion down the drain. As far back as his governorship days. So they went to They now relocated them to Agbowa. Then I went to them to interview them because they've started putting structure again at Agbowa. They said they will not move. I said, why will you not move? Government has spent so much money. They said the water tide at Agbowa is so low that it will not drive their logs to the survey. So they love because they prepare Agbowa. Agbowa is beautiful. That those people they should go. But if they go with the water tide, except government buy another machine for them to drag their log to the mill, it's not sustainable for their market. But why this wastage? We are doing projects without research. We are doing projects in this country where we have research center, where we have universities, where professors are paying so much money. The two sectors disconnected. So let us embrace research. Let us embrace capacity building. For the leadership of cooperative, nobody should just come to housing. That's what we are doing with Redan now. We are developing capacity building training program, and I believe that we should sit down together with the leadership of cooperative and do capacity building and do research until we diagnose. No doctors just, in my own days, you just enter doctor's office. As he sees you, begin to write the prescription. He will just look at your eyes. Nobody does that again. That's what we are still doing. That's what we are still doing in real estate. But any doctor now, be malaria you report, he will send you to go and do blood tests. He will send you to go and do blood tests. We are not doing blood tests. That's why they are giving us COVID tablets. Thank you, sir.